How many times have you watched the market open waiting for the perfect chance to jump in, and then before you know it, a stock takes off either higher or lower than it closed, and in the end, you kick yourself because you missed another great opportunity? Well, guess what? You are not alone, and thank you for joining us today. I am your host, Tony Marino. Trading the gap is something that experienced traders have been doing successfully for years. The only difference between you and them, they know how the trade really works and the tricks to make sure it works for them. During this DVD, you'll learn how and why gaps occur and different ways to take advantage of them. Here to explain it all to you, the Gap Guy, also known as Scott Andrews. And Scott, from one Tar Heel to another, glad to have you here today.
Thank you, Tony. Glad to be here.
The only difference is you actually graduated from University of North Carolina. And you graduated from West Point. You have an impressive resume.
Thank you very much. I'm a big fan of both schools.
And obviously a military guy, so thank you for the time that you served.
Thank you for recognizing that. It means a lot to me.
We are excited to have you again. You've been trading for, what, about 20 years?
No. Less than 10, actually.
Well, like full-time for a living, but...
Right. No, I started actually at West Point. I started dabbling. I had a roommate that traded a little bit back then, and he got me into it, and... don't ask me how I did for my first 10 years. I lost a lot of my lieutenant pay in those early days.
Well, for the first 10 years, you were like everybody else, and then the next 10 years, you got to the point where you're at now. A very successful gap trader with a pretty impressive win rate, even during the tumultuous times, right? So why were others trading and failing while you were succeeding?
Yeah, the past few years have been challenging. If I had to boil it all down, it's to three things, really. One, I have a very detailed trading plan, and I know that makes a lot of people's eyes gloss over when they think about a trading plan, but I have a very detailed plan. Secondly, that plan is based upon the highest probability setups, or just think of it this way, the best setups. I'm very, very picky about what I trade. Even when it comes to gaps, I'm very picky in terms of selection. And thirdly, because I'm so picky, I have a lot of confidence in my plan, and I was fortunate to and smart enough and disciplined enough to stick with my plan, even though I'll admit at times it was a little scary over the past few years. We've had some quite unusual times.
Yeah, for folks that are new to trading, this has been a rather historical time to get into the markets, you could say, right?
Absolutely. Very unusual by most historical standards, even going back into the 20s since the Great Depression.
All right, this beginner DVD goes in depth. It's a roadmap from start to finish, helping people not only learn about gaps, but how they can add them to their trading plan. And what are we learning today, Scott?
Well, as you can see here on the agenda, 5 big chunks of time I want to cover. First and foremost, I'm going to dig into gaps, and I'm going to break down the different types of gaps. I'm going to look at the different techniques for trading those 4 different types of gaps, really 3 primarily. Then I'll try to connect the dots between the type of gap, the technique, and even the market for people that are watching. So we'll spend quite a bit of time there, obviously going over some key definitions as well, so that we're all speaking the same lingo per se. We'll get into trading math, and trading math that I'm going to go over are specifically 4 variables that are important no matter what you are trading. Then we're going to go into the most reliable of all the gap trades, the gap fade. I'll explain that in great detail. And then I'm going to really cover 7 trading tips that will help everyone become a better gap trader. And then we'll bring it all together in terms of talking about your trading plan and how to incorporate the gap into your trading plan and some questions that you